On the King, we thought we'd invite somebody who actually knew him well. Please welcome Byron Casper, son of the late, great Billy Casper, who competed with Arnold in the heydays of the tour, certainly in the early days. You lost your dad a year ago. I know that stung, and now to lose Arnold, I assume it kind of brings back a lot of those same feelings, doesn't it?
It does. You know, Arnold was a hero to many, very much a competitor of Dad, both on the regular tour and the senior tour. And someone that is going to be sorely missed in the golf world and beyond.
Now, we were just looking at some of the video of those guys at the traditional starting of the Masters. That moment is never going to be the same, and that moment might fade away because when Jack and Player go, do you think they'll continue that tradition?
You know, I'm not sure. It would be nice if there were other players coming up, but I don't think there's going to be any players.
That quite has that magic.
They really don't.
Do you see Lefty and Tiger out there doing it 20 years from now?
Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't say no.
All right. Well, Byron Nelson or Ben Hogan had the purer swing. Your dad had the better short game. Jack Nicklaus won more. But all those guys did not enjoy the fan base that Arnold Palmer enjoyed. The Arnie's Army is legendary. Why was he so darn popular?
You know, I think there was a mixture of factors. His personality was larger than life. He was an incredible competitor. He took chances on the golf courses, a lot of times paid off, obviously. Again, his personality really came through, and he was always willing to greet people, talk to people, sign autographs. I think he was probably the epitome of a people person at a time when the tour needed that.
The Arnie's Army was known for his wayward shots would mysteriously show back up in the fairway. Back in the day, that Army saved him a few strokes here and there, did they not?
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
So as Billy Casper's son, your dad was his rival. You caddied on the senior tour when your dad was playing against Arnold on the senior tour. How many family stories? Give us a personal story about Arnold Palmer.
Oh, geez. I would say the most recent story was I asked him to relive the experience of the 1966 U.S. Open when Dad came from behind 7 strokes. And at the time, I think it was probably a little cheeky of me to ask that. And Arnold wrote me a wonderful personal letter regarding that, regarding my father, which I brought today for you to take a look at.
Isn't that cool? I mean, you have a letter from Arnold Palmer. Not a lot of people, well, maybe some people could say it, but I mean, that you're going to treasure that forever. Huh?
Well, not only that, but it shows you the class.
Go ahead, read an excerpt.
You know, he says, "Dear Byron, Doc Griffin passed along your recent email. I certainly have great respect for Bill and have always considered him a good friend. I understand your desire to elevate your father to the level he deserves as one of the game's finest players. However, the complication of my schedule will not let me undertake this. Let me know, and let me hasten to add that I would be happy to consider other ways to work with you and your father." That was something that was personal. He could have had Doc write it. He could have had his management write it, but he wrote me a personal note. I'll always appreciate that.
His prize money, he won 62 times on tour, but back then the tour wasn't the mega machine that it is now. So his prize money, let's just put it this way, it was dwarfed by his endorsement money. Every contemporary athlete owes Arnold Palmer a debt of gratitude just for turning on the sponsorship spigot, if you will, of revenue.
Absolutely. Long before Tiger Woods, Arnold Palmer was the first personality to come on the scene in the golf world, really generating the media interest and therefore getting bigger sponsor money. So yeah, we all have a huge debt to pay to Arnold for that because he started it all.
All right, well, one of his, after he was done playing, or I guess even while he was playing, one of his deals was his course design. One of the more, I'd say one of the most respected tracks here in San Diego was a Palmer design, Avier Golf Club. Go ahead, we have that video. Is there a common theme in Palmer design courses? First of all, let's hear from Rennie Brown, and then I'll ask you that question.
Okay.
Very few people will actually make eye contact when speaking, and he was a master at that. And he made you feel like you were the most important person at that moment in time. And that's a special skill that obviously not everybody does very well, and he did it better than anybody that probably most of us have ever met.
So I'm going to ask you about both of that. The eye contact, that's, I guess,
very important.
We forgot about the popularity. That'd probably be one of his tricks. So, I mean,
he made people feel important. And I think in a world where sometimes people get brushed off, you're too busy to sign autographs, etc., as a professional golfer, he took the time to do that.
Okay, and then his golf course designs, playability, the fact that people of every level can enjoy a Palmer design?
I think a lot of those guys had that in common. Certainly Arnold Palmer, certainly my father as well. They made courses that they wanted the public to enjoy. Didn't matter if you were a 5 handicap or a 25. It was something that you really could enjoy.
I pulled a quote that I thought was apropos. This is from Arnold Palmer. When people ask me what's, go ahead, throw the graphic up if you could. When people ask me what's driven me all these years, I always answer the same way. It was you, referring to his fan base. I mean, is that the...
Wonderful. I think that's a wonderful quote.
All right, so the state of golf now, after Palmer, are you concerned, you see the numbers, fewer people are playing golf. Will we ever see another Arnold Palmer that can create the same firestorm that he created to build the sport into the sport that it is?
I think we're going to see a lot of players of the same ilk as Tiger Woods, Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, some of these players. I don't think there'll ever be another Nicklaus. I don't think there'll ever be another Palmer. I don't think there'll be another Casper, only because they survived a very special time in professional golf. When there was no money. They did it for passion, for love of the game, for competition, and because of that, now we have plenty of money in the world of golf.
You're in the golf industry. What's the way, you know, there are a lot of people are trying to make the game simpler. They're talking about making the hole bigger, or speeding up rounds. What's the solution to making golf more accessible, more popular for young folks?
I believe it's really 2 or 3-fold. I think that cutting a lot more 9-hole rounds, making it acceptable to go out and play a competitive match in 9 holes. 2 hours, 2.5 hours is a lot easier for most people to get away than a 5-hour or 6-hour round of golf. So I think that's super important. Speeding up play, some of the new gadgets, the golf boards, things like that are making it a little bit more fun for the youth. And then I think programs. We need to have programs in place. What's wrong with having a game of pig with your friends after school on the golf course, but you know, this time you're on the driving range rather than shooting hoops? Things like that. We need to be more forward-thinking as an industry.
Pig is my favorite animal. Hey, Byron, thank you so much for spending time with us.